Alright, hey guys, I'm back and this is the big reveal. This is my project I've been working on for the past 2.5 months. This is what got me started on me doing my speakers and also me doing anything electronic basically. This is all that got it started right here. And originally it was started out as a piece of crap that didn't make any sound at all. But I've learned a lot since then. I've done a lot since then, and I have quite a bit of experience underneath my belt, and I love it. I really do. Uh, and after all this time, it's taken me so long to be able to do this, because whenever I first started, I knew nothing about this at all. Uh, it was ridiculously awful whenever I first made it, but um, hopefully y'all like it because I love it and I carry it around with me almost everywhere I go. And it's taken me a long time. I finally perfected it and I love it. Let me scoot this over so I can get y'all a good view of it. And the big reveal, dun dun dun, it's my laptop case. Before y'all try and go and be like, oh, that's a really good idea, I'm gonna make one of these and patent it and everything. I've already got a 3D design in a computer that is way better than this. It's gonna be a plastic mold of it, and then you're gonna insert your speakers. It's way better than this one right here. And I'm also working on getting it patented. So if you do try and do this, you're already too late. Because I got this case. All this is made out of is award plaques and some plywood. That's all it's made out of, and then speakers and stuff. And I'm on the way of getting it patented right now. If y'all can mop up a design for this laptop case overnight and then start pushing it forward, then y'all are awesome. But I already got a design inside the computer of the actual laptop case. This is just like a basically rough draft of it. The finalized version I already have in the computer, so it's ready to go. And I'm working on getting it patented right now. So if you try to take the design, too late. But this is really awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and start playing this for y'all. I just wanna kiss you. I can't right now, so baby, kiss me through the phone. Kiss me through the phone. See you later on. Kiss me through the phone. Kiss me through the phone. See you when I get home. She home like. We on the phone like. Let's see. But it's really loud, and I love it with all my heart. It's my laptop case. I love it. I carry it around everywhere I go, and where I can, I blaze it as loud as I can because it's really loud. It's portable, and it hooks up to your laptop. It's amazing. I'll go ahead and show y'all the what it actually looks like on the back side. It's really messy right now, but it's pretty awesome. Alright. The top of that. Alright. Okay. This right here is an iHome speaker set right here. All it is those, they look like the bullets, but they're by iHome. And all I did was pop off the top, expose the motherboard where the wires were running up off of it, and took the speakers off and soldered my wires to it for my speakers. I have a diagram of the way I have it bridged, but I'll show y'all real quick. what's going on. Alright, these two right here, these two, those are car speakers. Those have neodymium magnets in them to power them. They're really loud. They're louder than these right here. The white on here, the dust caps, the aluminum dust caps that were on there were destroyed, so I had to take those off and build my own. All I did was cut out a circle piece of paper and then cut out like a small triangle from the center to the outside, and then put those two pieces together and made a cone, and then hot glued it there, and then pushed in the little nipples, and there's your dust caps for it. These two top speakers right here came out of my brother's old TV. They're two surround sound speakers. They're really loud, and I love them. But I'm gonna go ahead and grab the diagram of the way I bridge the speakers to the amps, and this is very confusing. It was confusing for me. I didn't really know what I was doing until like a couple of days ago on how to bridge speakers, but I'll go ahead and grab the diagram. Where did I say? There we go. Alright. Here we go. I'll explain this to you. It's really simple and easy. Here's the bridging diagram. The squares are the amps. The circles are the speakers. The little black lines are the wires. Alright. Here's the surround sound speaker. Here's the car speaker. I have the positive running off of the speaker all the way to the surround sound, and then the wire, one of the wires that connects between the surround sound and the car speaker, I have branched off, and those two are spliced together. Then I have that running back up through the negative, and I did the same thing on the other side, and it's the same thing. And whenever you do that, it affects the ohms, like the amount of ohms running into the amp. And whenever you do that, it adds ohms, so it has a higher resistance. So whenever I have them bridged together, it adds the amount of ohms on them. I don't know how much the small ones are, but whenever I had it where it would divide them in half the way they were wired, by twisting the wires together and running it through in a regular way, it made it cut off a lot. So I was like, well, that should make it easier for the amps to play. So I tried different variations, and I found out that whenever we add them together, those are actually made for a lot of ohms, which, like, the amount of ohms that was running in them originally was 3 ohms. But right now I have it running at, like, what, 16 ohms? And apparently they're made for high ohmage. And they carry better that way. I don't know why or how, but they're really loud. And like, but that kind of confused me. But it's really cool. And also, I'm going to be showing y'all diagrams and stuff of how to bridge your speakers if you're hooking them up to amps and stuff. I'm about to start doing that. It's not that hard. It's really easy. Almost anybody can do it. Not almost anybody. It's not that hard. Has no math to it except for knowing how much the amp can hold. This one, it didn't come with saying, hey, it holds this amount of ohmage. I just had to guess and do different variations of bridges. But I'll explain to y'all. I have some videos on how to bridge speakers also coming up. But this is my baby. I've been working on it for a long time. And whenever I first started out, with the 2 stereo speakers hooked up to a headphone jack. They were worse than headphones, to be honest. Like, I was god awful at this whenever I first started. Like, it was awful. like a baby could have done better. But I had the two stereo speakers wired together, and then from that wire it ran to a headphone jack, and to the headphone jack I plugged into my laptop. It was really, really, really quiet, and it made me kind of frustrated. And then I got the LM386 chip that I showed y'all on my previous video, and had them wired up that way. They're loud, but they're crackly because I was putting too much power into them, which sucked. So I was like, screw it, and then I started getting to making speakers on their own, and da 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 da. And then my friend gave me some of those iHome speakers, the ones that look like a bullet. I was like, oh, that's awesome! I have an amp now, so I tore off the speakers and stuff, and wired them in that way. And then I got some stereo speakers. I hooked those up. Then one of them messed up, like the diaphragm tore on it. I fixed that up. And then eventually I was like, screw it, I'll make my own speaker out of that one. So I tried to make a speaker out of that. Didn't really work, so I had one stereo speaker left on there. And so I was like, screw it. And that's whenever I started making my sub. And from there on, it came up to this. My friend a few days ago gave me those car speakers. Dust caps were destroyed on them, like horribly destroyed. Like somebody got a hammer and a freaking screwdriver and started winning at it. But I went ahead and cut those off, and then I got paper, made like a little nipple basically, pushed them in, hot glued it on there, bam, dust caps finished, ready to go. So if you would have heard them before the dust caps were on there, they're a little quiet, but after you put the dust caps on it, so that actually has something to push the air for it, it sounds so much better. And man, I've come a long way since the beginning of this. I'll show you the original case. Alright, here's the bottom plate for it. I put this because on my laptop there's a little battery that hangs off at like a hook, so I had to have a way for it to go so that it could go downwards inside, so that it laid level in here so it fit. Then the lid came off. Well, it didn't come off, like it laid back, and it had some supports on it. And whenever I first started off, up in this corner right here and right here, I had a small speaker that came out of an alarm clock. Then I had a small one that came out of my camcorder, which is the one that I'm going to use for that one project I was telling you about. But I had them hooked up that way, running through a headphone jack, and came out this little hole right here, and it plugged into my laptop. Simple, easy. There, and then I got the idea, oh, stereo speakers. No, not stereo speakers, but TV speakers, yeah. Woo, that's gonna be loud. I didn't know anything about having to have an amp for it, so I was like, yeah, so I got the lid. Say this is the lid right here. I mounted the two speakers right here, and that's all I did, ran a headphone jack off of it. It was awful. Then I was like, screw it, I'll go ahead and find a way to make these louder. And I did all this research on my own. I got the LM386 chip, mounted it right here, wired it through. They were really loud, but they had too much power going to them, so they were really crackly. So I was like, dang. So that's whenever I got to this. And from then on, I've been working with this a lot. I've learned so much about these, but awesome. And let's crank this up real quick. But there you go. That sucker's loud, and it carries far because whenever I get off the bus, I have to walk down a couple of streets, and while I'm going down there, I have it wide open playing my music on my laptop, you know, and it's just blaring. You can hear it 3 streets down. It's loud, And even though it's not ridiculously loud, it carries really far, which counts. And I love it. And man, I've come a long way. And if it weren't for this laptop case, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be making these videos or showing anybody how to do this. So thank goodness I started this. I spent a lot of time dealing with this and also making my own speakers, all thanks to this little idea right here. And it's really awesome. But that's all y'all get for right now. Gonna have probably have another project going tonight and have it posted. So y'all look out for it. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll see y'all later. Bye.